What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I had a number of people reach out to me asking me for my thoughts on John Hancock's recent upload at the Portland Retro Game Expo, where he explained his plans for the video game museum, what he was doing with it, where they were going with it, why he wanted to do it, why the haters were wrong, and how he took offense to that stuff, and how he doesn't stand for any of that, and how he's a good guy and wants to be trustworthy and wants all you guys just to be on his side. And I guess there's a lot I gotta say about this. JT. So if you guys are new to the channel, you might not be familiar with me talking about John Hancock and his museum, where I made a video giving my thoughts about him saying that he wanted to take donations and was creating a museum for video games. Okay, I go back, look at that video. I was driving in my car, just casually chatting about it, because back then people wanted my thoughts on it then. And I was like, okay, I think it's kind of weird. I don't know. For me personally, no offense to John, by the way, if you watch this, John, I don't dislike you or hate you or think you're a horrible person. Yet, you might be. I don't know you personally. I don't know enough about you. Nor did I ever go down that road with you. I don't know where that all came from. But you struck my video when I gave my opinion on your museum. I hope that doesn't happen this time. I hope the bygones are in the past and whatever else. But here are my thoughts. I think it's admirable that you want to do a video game museum. I hope that works out for you. I wish you the best. As far as me personally, I don't give a shit. I just don't. I got every video game system I could ever want in my life in this room right here. Personally, that's me. That's not everybody. A lot of people sold their collections or had their parents throw them out or sell them when they were younger and they moved out or whatever. I get it. Like, I'm not everybody when it comes to gaming and video games and, you know, physical editions. But even when I extrapolate beyond what I have and go into the every man or every woman or every family that's out there, is there a purpose for a video game museum? To a certain extent, sure. No more, no less than living in San Diego and Balboa Park and having a freaking train museum. They have so many different little museums down in Balboa Park here. Like, there's like 10 of them. For the things in life that you'd be like, oh, there's a museum for that? Cool. And one day a year it's free to walk in and look at it? Cool, I guess. What I'm getting at is there's no need for a video game museum, though. Like, I can't foresee a situation where, say I'm traveling to the Pacific Northwest, where this is going to be supposedly located, and I bring my family there. What are you going to offer for us to care? Like, when I go to Vegas, we went to the Pinball Hall of Fame. It was not a museum per se. It was just an archive of pretty much every pinball machine worth its weight that ever existed in a line that you can just play. That was my idea of a video game museum, where that's these things that you would never have in your house, at least not to the extent that they had them there. Same with like an arcade. You go to an arcade, you'd never have an arcade in your house. Well, besides arcade one-ups. Like, an experience that you can't replicate at home, that's why you'd go out to the video game museum. But if you're just gonna set up an NES with an old school TV and have a regular controller, I mean, great for those who are interested in it. But I can't foresee a reason for that in this era, in this decade or century that we're living in. It's kind of like if you look back at the Louvre or, like, you know, museums that have one-of-a-kind Rembrandts or Da Vinci's, and it's like, yeah, okay, that is a one-of-a-kind thing that I will travel across the world, get off a plane, get a hotel, get in a bus or whatever taxi to get to that museum and look at that, because that's a bucket list type thing. I think that's a little bit different. Maybe 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now, it would be cool to have a place where you could go look at the origins of technology, where it all started, where it all came from. But I feel like we're not far enough removed from that in the current generation that we're in to need something that we could have at our house. I guess that's my mentality on it. That's not to poo-poo the idea. I think if this is your dream, follow it through, great. My contention with the original plan was not, I don't think you should do this because you're a scam artist. It was, don't be asking for donations with the implication that someday you might have a museum, because that's pretty scummy. That could be considered a scam. And you have to understand, online, in the world that we live in, there are lots of people out there that'll build things and take your money and not actually follow through with what they promised you. And I think that's where the problem comes in, is these YouTubers will put themselves out there, ask you for things, tell you what their plans are, and then get shocked when people question it. Like, how dare you question me? You don't know me. No, I don't know you, but I know the generic person on the internet that is going to be begging for money or ideas or places to go just to disappear, fall off social media. That kind of stuff happens all the time. And I hope it doesn't with you, John. At this point, what have you provided to prove otherwise? And that's what you got to ask yourself. I'm not a hater or a doubter. I'm a realist when it comes to the situation. And again, I hope for the best for you, and I think it's admirable. But personally, I don't see a use for it or a place for it. But if it's your dream, great, follow it through. That's not to say that every time someone has a dream, it's an absolute necessity for life that people should embrace because you have a passion for it. Maybe it's just the thing you want to do, and you shouldn't have to seek acceptance from others. And the only thing that worries me is if you're following through your dream and you truly have a passion for this, why are you letting people who question you affect you? It's not my dream, bro. Like, it's your dream. If you want to follow through on having this museum, have at it. But it has nothing to do with me or the generic every person out there that doesn't give a crap about what your dream is. It's your dream. I'm not asking you, John, to follow through on my dreams and getting offended when you don't. Like, that's like crazy. That's insanity. So if you want to follow through on it, great, do it. But don't get mad at the haters and the doubters and the realists and the people that are questioning you, because there's a place for that on YouTube. And unfortunately, there are some people that always go way too far. And unfortunately, that happens on both sides. The scammers, the scam artists, the people that are taking advantage of people. And then the other side, the doubters, the people that are calling you out, and the people that are saying that you're a liar. It goes too far on both sides. I try to find the middle ground. I try to be real about the situation. And in this case, I think it's admirable that you're following through on your dream. I just don't see a use or a need for it. Maybe you can prove me wrong. Maybe you can do a museum and create a situation that is like Disneyland for video games. Great. It'll take a lot of money to do that, though. And if it doesn't work out, all the donations and the money that you got up to the point of it not working out, does that make you a scammer? You got to think about the fallout from everything that goes into it, all the things you're asking for, the investors, the collaborations, the cohorts, the businesses to partner with you, and all the stuff that you were asking for. If you start getting that, and then it falls through, you're going to look like a complete scam artist. So just keep that in mind, that there's two sides to the coin. And all I'm doing is being real about it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
Suggestions, or if you have a connection to a business that would be interested in hosting, we're really looking for a site to host, and we're fielding that interest now.